Okay, so this is my ghetto screen cap setup. Pretty old school. I'm using a pretty crappy little tripod thing on the command wing here. The gist of it is I'm gonna have the screen here, which is going to be able to I'll just be able to quickly see the stage layout when I get maybe to a larger venue and I need to really see what's going on. I have a little programmer screen, so it gives me all the fixture details and whatever. Color picker rather, a la Christian Jackson and some other guys that were pretty influential in the building of the Showfile. Obviously, your own Showfile is your own, regardless of the software, whether it's Avo, NPC, anything. So obviously I've got a position picker for movers, gobo picker, and let's throw this in here. It's just kind of a running sequence so I can know what the heck's going on with the computer or whatever. But pretty straightforward. Depending, each row here is a fixture type. So if I have spots, beams, washes, backup wash, just in case a weird fixture pops in, and then LED A, LED B, and LED C. So usually what I'll do is I'll run the LEDs for the front wash lights. So like these guys, I guess you can't see them, that sucks. But anyway, so it'd be anything that the audience it's in their face, it's like a main LED, and then LED B is going to be sort of a backing, like a secondary, something like a truss toner, so like an LED in a truss that's just highlighting the truss, so it's not really a main focus, so it doesn't really change color that much, doesn't have that much impact on anything but the atmosphere or whatever. And then LED C, usually what my plan is to use it dedicated for cyc lights, so back wall washes, something like a backdrop wash, or even something like if you're using uplighting around the room, something that's just never really going to change the entire show and that doesn't really require any modification. So on the side here, it's just kind of cool. This took me bloody ages to program, but it's kind of cool. Obviously, you can't see it here, but you can pick the color, right? So on the screen, it'll be relatively instant, but in the background, it's running macros and sequence changes. So say I have say 40 LED washes across the front of the stage. What's cool is I don't have to change them all at the same time from like say red to blue. What I can do is I can say I want it to take 4 seconds to go red to blue, and then the direction I want is to go from inwards to outwards. So the lights will start to fade to red from blue outwards. So it's kind of like a nice little transition effect that really spruces up just the look of if you're switching manually, it just looks really much nicer than a hard cut, so that sweet thing I've also added into position. Again, heck of a lot of programming, but I can link the influence I use for that. Tons of macros happening in the background. This is super cool. I won't get into that much right now, but it's based pretty much solely on Christian Jackson's color effects generator, except I modified it so that I could run it. From the video that I learned about it is he sets it up so that the effects generates one effects running, and then everything gets ported into it. Whereas I kind of prefer a little bit more control. So say, for example, I have a cool effect running, but I don't want the cyc to be in the effect. I'm able to do that by just turning certain things on and off. So that took a little bit of programming, but honestly, his videos have been super helpful, and pretty crazy helpful. I mean, he's more in the electronic stuff, and I prefer a little bit more rock and roll, like a little bit live, but his looks are very good, and he's a hell of a programmer. So That's great. Again, I haven't really sorted out how I want to lay this out, and it'll again change. But in terms of positions, I usually stick with a small amount of positions if I can, because you're going to be running pan tilt effects anyways on that. So you kind of just want a baseline, and then effect on top of that. So I usually have a straight position where that's not straight down, but it's kind of facing on an angle this way towards the audience, and it hits kind of the edge of the stage, and that's the default look. And then a cross in, a cross out of that, and then an audience, so it's raised up, so just above the lip of the stage, and then a cross version of that, and then a balcony, so straight back to the back of the room, and then a cross version of that. And then I just put these in just for safety, but it'd be like a drum solo special, stage left special, center, and stage right, just in case. It's not really my thing, but in case for whatever reason I need to do a solo, you know, a spoken word break or whatever it is, I could just hit this and then all the lights can go there. So that saves a lot of time. Gobos, this is kind of a work in progress, but essentially it's the same as the other thing. So that's a really brief rundown of the Showfile and all the stuff I found just through advice from friends, and also a lot of online YouTube searching. There's a couple fantastic YouTubers out there, and I'll link them in the description to this this video anyways. So next I'm gonna have to pack everything up, and we'll see what it looks like when it's about to go on the road. But maybe first I'll do a little inventory to see what I'm actually taking. What I'm actually going to do, instead of linking this all in one giant video, I'll just split it up a little bit. So I'll keep this Showfile video separate, and then the next one will be kind of packing up and doing a quick count of what is actually inside of the gear, and then we'll just kind of roll with the punches with that. So see you next video.